The FBI just raided the home of a guy in Provo, Utah, and killed him. The man is 75 years old. His name is Craig Robertson. And the raid was justified by the idea that this guy was making online threats against Joe Biden, Merrick Garland, apparently several other officials, apparently Gavin Newsom and others, and threatening that he would get rid of them, shoot them. The threats themselves are really over the top. I'm just going to read a couple because we want to get to the facts of what's happening here. I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old gill suit and cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle. Welcome, buffoon-in-chief. So you've got a guy here who's a little unhinged.
A little cuckoo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of other examples. Alvin Bragg, he goes, heading to New York to fulfill my dream of eradicating, misspelled, another of George Soros's two-bit political hatch. I think he means hatchet DAs. And then he goes, I'll be waiting in the courthouse parking garage with my suppressed Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm to smoke a radical fool prosecutor that should never have been elected. And there's more like this. So obviously this guy is like out of control and he is making threats. Yeah. Now, this being said, he's in Utah. He's an old guy. It turns out he walks with a cane. And it turns out, what did he do to act on these threats? Is this guy violent in any way? There's no indication that he was. So the FBI decides to go and pay him a visit, and they are executing a search warrant. And you make the point, and I agree, that they pretended to be going to arrest him, but they really wanted to kill him.
Absolutely, 100%. They wanted to kill him.
Now say why you think that. Because the FBI has a sort of a cover story. Here's their cover story. They're like, hey, listen, we were just trying to execute a search warrant. We wanted to arrest him. We just wanted to hold him accountable and neutralize a potential threat. This was a man in his house. He was armed. He had a weapon. And so, we had to kill him.
But here's my point. They knew he had weapons. They knew he was unhinged. So they knew that going to his house at 6 a.m. was going to cause a little bit of chaos. And they better be prepared for what this unhinged man is going to do or willing to do. So they knew that there was a potential, threat to them. And so, of course, they knew that to stop that, they could actually
use lethal
force. But they could have, and I told you this earlier, they could, because you know that the FBI surveils people. They do. They have you under surveillance if you are potentially a threat, right, in their eyes. They could have followed him to, say, the grocery store, and they could have arrested him as he's about to go in his car when he's not aware that they're surveillancing him. And then grab him and put the handcuffs behind him, go, you're under arrest for making threats, blah, blah, blah. That would have been a way to do that, to control the situation in a non-violent way, because, again, going to his house.
I mean, the simple truth is that when you show up at someone's house, wasn't it 6 a.m? Early in the morning, the guy getting out of bed,
probably half asleep.
Federal officers heavily armed at his property. What is his natural instinct going to be at that point? This kind of a guy, but to think, oh my gosh, I mean, there's probably an element of paranoia there already.
Right, exactly.
But your point is that there were other less lethal and responsible ways. See, this is a point that the left makes all the time. When they were making the point about, did you have to kill the guy? Remember Joe Biden? You could have shot him in the leg. In other words, you should use the least possible force to achieve the objective of apprehending, in this case, the suspect. So we're not justifying this guy's threats. But wait a minute. How many threats were made against Trump when he was president from the left? What about Kathy Griffin holding up really the severed head of Trump, dripping blood?
Yeah.
Isn't that a threat equivalent to anything that this guy said?
For sure.
Many other people made similar threats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did the FBI go to Kathy Griffin's house in the morning, fully armed, ready to kill her if she showed any signs of resistance?
No,
of course not.
But I think this is all just a way of the FBI and the DOJ and all of those left-wing institutions to say, hey, if you are a conservative, if you do not like the sitting president, if you don't like the attorney general, we're going to watch you and we're going to make sure that we stop you from doing anything potential, so.
You're saying this is almost a scare. This is intended to, this was something that they set out intending to to kill an American citizen, admittedly unhinged, but you could easily have nabbed him 10 other ways, to shoot him dead, to send a message to all of America. This is what we do to people like you. So I agree. I think this is in some ways, even though, it's hard to defend the guy.
Yeah,
because he even says at one point, hey, Merrick Garland, you demented weasel, send your FBI SWAT team to my house.
Yeah.
You won't because I fight back. So this is a guy who's provoking them.
He's provoking them, but he also thinks they're not going to do it.
So what you're saying is he provokes them, but he doesn't realize he's playing into their hands.
Exactly.
As most of you know by now, Debbie and I love the MyPillow products. We've got them all over our home. Just the other day, Debbie was like, hey, we need to get some kitchen towels. And wouldn't you know it, MyPillow's got a deal on them. They have 4 and 6-piece sets. They come in a variety of colors. And if you use promo code Dinesh, you get 25% off on all of them. You can never have too many kitchen towels, so now is your chance. By the way, big discounts on all the MyPillow products, so check them out. Go to mypillow.com. Use promo code Dinesh, save 25% off on the MyPillow kitchen towels, and get a whole bunch of other stuff. You can also call 800-876-0227. The number again, 800-876-0227, or just go to the website, mypillow.com, to get the discounts. You need to use the promo code, which is DINESH, Dinesh.